Hello and welcome to Chinny Vision 2, the sister channel of Chinny Vision, the retro computing channel, where I play games on real hardware. And this is the channel where I just kind of do more rough and ready videos and different things. And today I've got something different because I've got a CD player. And it's not just any old CD player. It's the CD player I used, well, I used to use one of these, not this precise one, 25, oh goodness me, 25, 26 years ago in a radio studio, because it's a professional Denon. It's a DN-C630. There's several variations of this. This is the one with the colourful buttons, which I wanted because I'm an Amstrad owner. Obviously, colourful buttons, you know. You're drawn to them, aren't you? I think the 635 just has grey buttons. But I just wanted something really to fit in one of the spaces here in the studio, because I've got these rack mounts in the studio. And I thought, well, got all these gaps here you can't really see on camera. And I thought, well, let's get some stuff to put in there that just looks attractive and might be useful. CD player might be useful. So I bought one CD player, which is a normal Denon. And then I went, nah, I should get a proper rack mount one. That one was also playing up a little bit, needs some work. So I went online and I found this one. It's the same CD player that I used in the studio 25 years ago when I was at university. And these are pretty solid, good quality Denon professional CD players, as beloved by radio stations, mobile DJs, anyone really, because they're pretty solid and they've got these rack mount ears in there. So they look a bit odd in your hi-fi stack, but actually you'll come to see that actually it's a lot of this is far nicer than your average hi-fi. Even the other Denons, the hi-fi Denons, have some of these same features. This is a lot nicer. But I wanted to have a look around this today, and also I've got to fix a problem with it, because let's turn it on. There we go. Look at that lovely dot matrix display. Press your button there. And nothing happens. Press the button again. And nothing happens. Can you guess what the problem is, guys? Yeah. It's got a bit of a sticky button there. It's going to be some deoxit gold in the back of that, isn't it? So we're going to do that in a bit. But you get a CD, and we're not plugged in. You put it in, and it's a very nice CD player with some professional features, because if we get it around the side there, if I can get it around without it all going horribly wrong on the mains cable, you'll see the biggest thing, and I've banged the microphone from the normal CD players as I get this round. You have, if you can see there, and I am on the GoPro today, so it's all a bit rough and ready. It's got XLRs out for your professional mixing desks. It's got your unbalanced standard phonos out, digital out, which you'd expect. You can also tweak the output levels for your mixing desk so they're precisely correct. You can put a tone on a CD and get your levels exactly right just by adjusting the pots in there. It's also got, and you may see some of these on kind of high-end Denons, or hacked into high-end Denons, as my other Denon is, this D-sub connector. Looks like a parallel connector. That is for remote start. There's all sorts of different pins on there. You can go set it up. So if you've got a mixing desk, which mine isn't, that has a stop-start button on it and the Q buttons, you can remotely control the features of the mixing desk from there, or the CD player from the mixing desk. So you can put the fader up, the music will start. You can press the on button on the desk, the music will start, and so on. Let's spin this back round. I suddenly realise I might be scratching my expensive new desk here when I'm doing this, but never mind, because the metal bits are quite... Oh dear! Is that going to come off? I think so. Yes, it is. View. I should be more careful, shouldn't I? Oh dear, look at that. Look at that. Eek. Jump cut. Wasn't supposed to be editing this video, but yeah, there was a jump cut there because I got a bit panicky about my desk, which is brand new, and I might have scratched it. Oh dear. Right, so yeah, it's a very nice CD player. It looks quite like a normal CD player, but you'll notice some big difference here, including these big rubber buttons that we come into. So we open it up. Rather we don't, because the on-off buttons got a bit tetchy. Close it again. You can just tap it. And it will read the now CD that I've just put in. And you can see the display there, tells me the track length. Now, you can set this up and it's got a built-in memory how you want it to act. Because you have a normal CD player, you want it to play the entire CD, right? But actually, if you're a DJ in mobile disco or a local radio station, clearly you only want it to play the one track and then stop. So you can just program it in programming mode. Say, right, when it's turned on, it will only play one track. But you can also go there and it will tell me the entire CD there. Use the knob there to scroll through. You can see on the display things change on there, which track we want. With the knob, you can press the knob for the track and it will queue it up. Or you can just twist it and then press the Q button and then it will take you there. You press Q before you press play because it's like, it's not pause, it will line it up. Because then you can press play. But if you press Q again, it will go back to the start. Useful in the days where you used to have to PFL tracks. These days people don't do this, but when you used to put CDs in, different CDs, the levels might be different. So you'd use the PFL button on the desk, you'd have a quick listen in, and then you'd, right, I've had a listen, I might fast forward through it a bit. Yeah, they used to say that, fast forward through it, have a listen, continue to have a listen, and then, right, fine, press Q. Yeah, don't do that. That's the wrong way of doing it. I've just done it the wrong way. But in theory, you go back to the beginning. There you go, 350, and then you can just go boom, and it will always reset to where you last had it, basically. You got rubber search. All these buttons are rubber, not hard, apart from that one there. That's so DJs can hit them from any angle and mistreat them. You also have a pitch function, which you turn on there. We can change the speed of the CD and make it run faster. That can be useful for beat matching for a mobile disc jockey between tracks. Again, using the Q function you'd have two of these in there. But also, actually, our student radio station used to run everything fast. This was a thing that some radio stations still do to make yourself sound more difficult to say. To make yourself sound better than other radio stations and more upbeat, some radio stations play the music a little bit faster. And you can generally get away with about 3% without people noticing. So although sometimes I'd come in and find it was, why are these songs sounding really fast then? Someone's knocked it up to 5% or something. But I think we used to generally run about 3% in those days. Incidentally, I'm going to put some footage in. If I can find it, I'm going to put some footage in of actually the ones I used to use back in the day, or someone using them in the studio when we were just kind of juggling CDs, because we did have Computer Player was around in 1999, and when did we start? Yeah, 99, 2000, 2001. Computer Player was around, but it was expensive, and we used to use, eventually I set up a system with Winamp to run stuff. So yeah, that's how we used to do it. But these are pretty good. These are pretty good. You've got a headphone jack there as well. I've got a few scratches on this one there. You've got repeat functions, all the usual stuff. You can, again, set it up if you want it to go to sleep or not. If it hasn't been touch raised, it'll just stay on. Because in a radio station, this would just stay on 24/7. It wouldn't go to sleep. It would just be there in a rack and would stay on for years. Because these things are robust. Although the weak spot was always the buttons, and also in the Denon mini disc version of these as well, the buttons used to go, because the people just mash them and then dirt gets in, and they are rubber, which some people don't like, because my mate said to me, why do you want these in your hi-fi rack? And the answer is, well, it looks pretty good. Look at the display, it looks really cool, doesn't it, really? I mean, I know it's kind of a bit different, but it looks pretty cool. So yeah, I can't play you any audio from this, obviously, because we're going to get copyright matched straight away, but it's a decent CD player. You can go on to audio forums and people start arguing about these versus high-end Marantzes. I like this because it gives me happy memories of using these, and I say the big colourful buttons. I love the jog. I love these kind of sturdy jog buttons that you can just go through and just bam, and it's nice. It feels better than click, 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 click. I hate that plastic clicky thing you get even on the high-end Denons. It just doesn't, it feels cheap compared to this, even though these are rubber. And yeah, you've got all your play modes there, and I think I said you got a headphone jack there that won't sound great, but it's for checking. That's really for your checking. But what we're going to need to do here is open this up, because I need to get this eject button working nicely. Sometimes it works nicely and sometimes it doesn't. We've been using it over Christmas. And there we go. Just to play CDs and stuff. And it's been working some days brilliantly and some days it's being a bit of a pain. This has also got other features that normal CD players don't have. It has a cache memory for if it gets jogged, like your Walkman or Discman did. So if it gets banged in the studio, it will continue playing because it's cached it. It can also be placed at an angle like that, because you may have it like that in your mixing desk. So I think it's a 10-degree angle it can go to. So it's got another cool feature where, you know how sometimes they master CDs and they put gaps at the beginning or gaps at the end. You can say, look, start the track when the audio level reaches this point and not before. So it will look at the track, go, no, that's silence there, I will go to there. And the same with the fade at the end. If sometimes they leave massive bits on the end of the track as gaps, you go, no, if there's like this gap at the end of the track, I want you to stop at this point. And the countdown, I didn't show you how good the countdown feature is on here, because back timing and timing in radio is really important. These days, your computers do it for you, and you don't have to worry. But when I started out, it was lots of bits of paper and just kind of jotting things down, and especially when you're starting out. So we can go track 1. Oh, that's remembered I'm in play 1. So it's got a little display there that shows you how close you are to the end of the track. So I fast forward through, see the little dot there moves along. It can also display how many audio frames as well you've got to the end, which is an optional thing. You can turn that off so it just says 1 minute, 5 seconds and not have the audio frames thing on, which is quite nice. I just like that. It just looks, because it's got this nice dot matrix display. I just think it looks pretty cool. Well, it's a vacuum. Is that a vacuum fluorescent in there with dot matrix? I think it is, and they are cool these days as well. A lot of the later ones moved onto LCD displays, which I really didn't like. So let's see how, let's just fast forward this on. So we're at 14 seconds. Let's see where it will just come to a stop. It will flash at 10 seconds, so you know you're in trouble. And it will come to a halt. And that's not the end of the track as per the CD. That is the CD player having looked at the track and saying, right, you've got a second of audio below this level at the end of the track. I'm stopping early and will give you the correct timings there. It's really, really useful. I just love it. I just love these little touches a machine like this has that is useful to the professional. And I just kind of sitting there listening to CDs over Christmas and going, oh, I just love the way it flashes at the end and all the rest of it. It's just so cool. But I need to fix this thing. So open. Oh, we did it that time. These actually have service manuals as well, because they're professional. You can go online and get the service manual, which I haven't got because this job should be very simple. It's not a question of replacing things. Incidentally, I was reading one website saying people are replacing lasers in CD players, that there's no need to do that. It's usually something else. It's usually dirt or misalignment or other things. And since you can't get decent quality laser assemblies these days, and original ones, you really shouldn't be doing that until it's a last resort. Usually, this CD player expert was saying the laser is actually fine. And you need to just clean. The first thing is always clean it and clean it properly, not just kind of swap a bit of isopropyl around. Anyway, I'm going to move this round and get it open. And I'll do that off camera because it's going to be a bit fiddly. And then we'll have a look inside and see if we can fix this thing so this eject button works properly. so I'm in. Little thing to watch out for. There's a screw on the back and a screw there. Looks like the whole CD mechanism there is kind of one separate unit made by Sharp, of all people. We've got Panasonic chips over there. A Denon ROM there, looks like. I'm undecided. Well, the best date code I can find, or the best suggestion for a date code, is the thing that ends 06. So possibly 2006 this was made, but don't hold me to that. I can't see too much kind of detail on that. It doesn't matter. It's not like a computer where you're dating it. You've got one interesting thing down there. It's an internal fuse, little glass fuse. So if you find one of these dead, then your first point of kind of failure is that little glass fuse down there. So you may want to try and have a look at that and see if it's blown. XLR daughter board there, interesting, because I suspect this board here is probably fairly common to Denon kind of non-professional CD players. I've got some quite a few caps on there, but none of them look like they're leaking, and I expect they're all high grade. Can't see the brand from here. I'm kind of quite blocked off, but I don't expect them to be cheapies. The board I want to get at is there, and it looks like it's held on by possibly 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and then pulls back and out. So that's where I'm going next. I might have to move the camera back just a little bit just to get in there and possibly find a different screwdriver. We've got a little ribbon cable there as well, and the slider, the pitch control, is on a different circuit there with power and presumably just some feedback for what it is. And I think that board there is possibly fed through that ribbon cable. I need to be careful and I need to be able to get to it. So I'm going to move you back and then see if I can get that daughter board out. Okay, so that's been a lot longer than I expected it to be. I thought that panel would just come out, but in actual fact it runs all the way under there. So I had to take the drive out as well. There's screws under there, and you will need a really long screwdriver just to get down into there, because otherwise, unless you disassemble the entire case, which seems like overkill. We take this remaining screw out here. Being careful not to cut myself on that sharp metal there. A magnetic tip, especially useful for getting these out, because you will drop bits in there. So many screws holding this panel on, because obviously it's designed for ham-fisted DJs just to mash the panel like idiots. So, you know, they've really put about 1 million screws in here just to stop anything occurring. So I've also undone the ribbon cable which holds it in. So hopefully, he says, please come out, please come out, please come out, please come out. You are completely loose. What's holding you on now? What is the remaining thing holding you in? Is there anything down the bottom there? Clips down there. Any more clips there? That holds on. This is kind of protector to stop it shorting out. And if that comes off there like that, that lift. Yes, as Big Clive would say, one moment please. Right, okay. It's looser. It's still not coming. However, I can see how these switches work, and you can't, unfortunately. They are just little, they're not, I thought they might be those remote control style contacts, those little carbon contacts. It's not, which makes sense because this thing is an expensive unit. They are individual switches with rubber buttons on top. So I'm just going to try and take out that. Can I get that out? I've tried everything to, barring extreme violence, to lift this up, because it should just, there's nothing left holding it, and it just doesn't want to come out. Is that switch on the front, does that need undoing? Is there a thing in there that holds it in? Does that come off? Where's my little screwdriver? Is there a little thing in there that makes it? Would that be what's holding it? Could be. But I'm thinking the most obvious and easiest thing to do on this is going to be spray some deoxit gold into the contact there. That switch. And in fact, some of the other switches as well, because you might as well when you're in here, and just let it do its thing. Get it behind the rubber. Let it dry. And just give that a bit more there, why not? It's not going to do any harm, it will dry off. And that should, hopefully, if I now operate that switch a bit, because I can't see, it's either the turning knob there that isn't letting it go. It could be stuck in there, but there's something else. It feels like there's something else holding it, because that's still got a gap. When I move that there, it feels something like something else preventing it moving than the knob on the front, is what I'm thinking. Could be wrong there. But while we're in here, we'll give it a bit of a wipe over as well. It's very clean in here. But what this drive will benefit from just a quick wipe over. Very little dust, really. You don't want to be jamming this thing around too much. You can see inside there. Oh, now there's a date code. That can't be 1919. That is not a date code. That's some kind of serial. That doesn't make any sense for this particular model, because this model long been replaced, and certainly unless it had a replacement motor in 2019. Sorry, not 1919. That would be weird. And there's another date code on his, well, there is date code on his somewhere that I think suggests it's 2006, which would make a lot more sense. Right, so all that is drying. I'm going to reassemble while also working that switch a bit more again. Because, yeah, it's a proper, although these buttons look like they're rubber and kind of remote controls, they're not. They are actually properly switched, which is what you'd expect. As I said, you know, these are not cheap CD players. They are good quality ones. And that's interesting. The very nice switch there as well on the, if you can see that. I'm up there, sorry. Look at the scratches on my... Anyone know how to get those out now? This is a new desk. Most irritating. Yeah, I'm going to just put this back together now, and we will see how it works. Hopefully the on-off button, or the eject button rather, sorry, now it actually does eject every time. Right, I've got the panel back in. I've not turned this on yet. I have not obviously put the lid back on in case things don't work, which I probably won't, because I probably should have consulted that service manual. There's one clip down there that I can't get back in. It's like a plastic rivet. So, yeah, anyway, let's try it. See where we are. Oh, it's on. It's on. Right. Now, can we do a gentle tap of the on-off? We'll go. Nice. Appear to have disturbed a little bit of the... Should that be moving every time? That cable there, trouble is I didn't look at it before, did I? What does it do? Oh, I see. The whole assembly beneath the drive moves away. Interesting. That just works now. That feels a bit different. Is it sticky? That's fine. Might still be some residue of deoxit in there. Let's put a CD in and see what happens. Beware laser radiation. Joking. Because when we first got these things right, you were told that if you looked inside the machine, a laser would come out. And yeah, the Q button works. Yeah, they feel very different because, of course, I put deoxit behind them. Am I getting any audio? Where's my headphones? See the CD spinning in there? How slow those kind of audio CDs spin compared to CDRs and DVDs and Blu-rays when you see those spinning. Even on your CD32. Right, let's just try this. Oh yeah, it's Richard Marx, all right. I'm definitely getting Richard Marx. My pitch controls still work. Yeah, you can probably see the CD speed going up and down there. That's working fine. That is absolutely working fine. I mean, these are lovely machines. They really are. I just highly recommend them if you're looking for a CD player. Just look at the build quality compared to some of the modern ones. Another fuse there. You've got another glass fuse there. For some reason or rather, again, the service manual. I'm not going to look at the service manual. This moving the entire time seems wrong, but that one, I don't know if it's supposed to be. Well, it wasn't tied down. I think it's just supposed to do it. I guess it's built to cope with that. You would have thought Denon might have kind of gone a ribbon cable across the CD, but that's a modular unit, isn't it, really? There. That's a modular unit from, was it Sharp? And then you got some Panasonic chips down there, and because Denon are Nippon Columbia. It's just a brand name from them. But that just works fine. It's great. I'll just double check all these this cabling. It just worries me a bit, but it's clearly meant to do it, I think, because there's no other way. That cable must be designed to do that. Well, these could be running 24/7 for years and years and years. In the 90s, in radio stations before they had computer playout systems, so it must be fine. I've not taken anything off there. The only clips I've taken off at the back there. Yeah, I think we are all good, and I'm glad to see there are all individual switches beneath there, and how different this feels. I mean, you can feel the click now. You can probably hear the click. That's so strange. It just a little. I didn't have to take the panel off completely. I managed to squirt the deoxit in. I got some in down there. Didn't do those ones, but those ones are fine down there. So, yeah, I'm happy. I can get a lid back on, and if you see one of these on eBay for, 60 quid, I think it's probably one of the best CD players you're going to get, just for the coolness of the, being able to do twiddle your knobs and press your buttons and do all the other stuff that's cool. Impress your friends. Yeah. I'm glad it's all working nicely, and that seemed to have worked very well. Thank you for watching. All the usual stuff, like, subscribe, blah, 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 Tuning Vision. What we got? We got that thing. What do you call it? Oh, the thing. It's in the link in the description below. You can bung a quid to Tuning Vision to help me kind of keep this channel ad-free. Anyway, thank you for watching, and speak to you soon. Cheers.